Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative Eddie Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. It's another fine and wonderful Tuesday, and finally, the weather is breaking. Once again, it's time for your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. I am so happy the weather is finally breaking. Now, if we could get the weather breaking and me not working all the damn time to somehow kind of like align as to where Eddie has the day off and he can enjoy the weather, I'd be a happy man. But other than that, I'm still content. I'm blessed. I have absolutely zero complaints. With that being said, I not only have one, but two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today for the 248th time? Man, oh man, basketball. I love NBA playoffs, hockey. I love the Stanley Cup playoffs. We don't talk about it much. I just have to say, this is such a wonderful time of the year, weather getting nicer, and all bets are off when it comes to the playoffs. Everything that we saw during the regular season, yeah, it's coming. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I promise you. God, I'm loving this every single day. Just non-stop action, and we gonna talk about it. Oh boy, I'm itching. I'm ready to go. But you gotta go ahead and introduce the other guy. I know it's protocol. Here comes this long ass introduction. I mean, it's all right.
I got you. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got locked in for about 5 minutes of the Kings and the Oilers game.
Man,
about 5 good minutes. I was like, damn. real quick. And the other guy, he is the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania. Somebody told me he was the assistant to the dean at the Waynesburg University. I don't know, man. I gotta check these interns, man. I think these interns still might be high from spring break. But anyways, he is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. You're right, Eddie. We finally have some sunshine. And, you know, I spoke with you guys last week about doing a baseball game for Trinity High School with Lanny Fateri, the former Pirate announcer. And this past Friday, I had the pleasure of doing another game for Trinity with his grandson. And then this time the Waynesburg University Sports Network, all the kids in the comm department, they came up and we brought the truck, and we had kids on camera and directors, producers, and video graphics and instant replay. And it was a really good night. And I just wanted to say that those kids at Waynesburg did such a good job and made me look good, and it was just a really good time. And thankfully we had good weather, because all in the spring we just had things getting canceled and postponed left and right in all the spring sports. So if this Friday night, I just wanted to mention we had a really good night, and I was very appreciative of all the kids at the comm department at Waynesburg, as well as my athletic director Ricky Rich at Trinity High School, who always steps in to give us a helping hand. So a good day, good night was had all together. It's just fortunate that I happen to be in the middle. I'm a guy who went to Trinity and now goes to Waynesburg, and they formed a partnership this year with really wasn't my doing. It was not my brainchild. I just happened to be there at the right place at the right time for both. So very, very interesting night. But yeah, I'm glad to see the weather is finally cracking and pushing that mower around, Eddie Cool.
Oh boy.
Oh, about to don't forget to use the bag. Oh, come on,
man. No more bagging. That lady has moved to another state, so I'm not cutting her grass any longer. So no more bags.
I can see Scotty looking at the U-Haul going like this. Bye. Bye. Yes. All right.
I hate using the bag. I hate the bag.
I can't say.
Scotty D, I got a question though for your fellow classmates and everything. Did they get extra credit for this? Because you said they made you look good, and that takes an incredible.
They are a talented group, I will tell you. And at one point during the broadcast, one of the cameramen came up into the booth and had a close-up shot of us. And man, did my head look big! It looked like a big old pumpkin sitting over top of a tie and a dress shirt. I tell you.
Yeah,
all right. Before
I definitely, it's an old joke, but I always say I got the perfect face for radio.
Before B-Live makes me spit my water out, Scott, you know what, man? You deserve all of it. Let's go ahead before this thing get completely off the rails. Let's go ahead and hop right into the top of the order.
All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order.
All right, we are back, and guess what? The NFL draft was this past Thursday. Caleb Williams went number 1. Anybody surprised? Anybody? No, not really. Fellas, I don't know about you, but this draft didn't have a lot of suspense until the Atlanta Falcons made their pick. As they picked Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th. It was the 8th pick, right?
Yes.
With the 8th pick. I'm going to give you the floor, B-Live, because you've been chomping at the bit, seething to get this off your chest.
All right. So see, here's the thing. Here's the problem that I've had to face with this. Is it really that hard for fans to face reality? Like I have talked with so many spin doctors. They're trying to convince me that this was a good idea.
Based on what? Tell me what were they? Why is it a good idea?
Well, just to lay down the foundation for those that are listening, with the 8th pick, they chose Michael Penix Jr. from Washington, which he played college football for 6 years. He's 24 years old. He's had, and here's the thing. Let me make this perfectly clear. I think Michael Penix Jr. will do. He's actually one of those people that I've touted as one of those surprises. He's going to be one that people sleep on, and he's going to do outstanding things in the National Football League. But why, Atlanta? I guess they were saying that, he fell in our lap. We had to take him. No, you really didn't. Because you just paid a quarterback not too long ago 4 years, $180 million with $100 million guaranteed just to pick his replacement in the first round. I'm going to say this simple. I could talk for days about this. I'm going to tell you this very simple. If I was an employee at a company and said company paid me $100 million and then immediately hired my replacement, I would be the laziest employee ever. You telling me you paid me all this money and you just hired my replacement anyway? I got the money. Shoot, I'm just gonna show up to work. What you gonna do about it? I'm on my last. He's on his last contract. He's 30. Kirk Cousins is 36 years old. This is his last contract. There is no renewing. I don't care how great his agent is. There's no more contracts after this. It's over. Kirk Cousins has fleeced the NFL for the very last time. And this right here is, and then Atlanta said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have paid him that money, but we already did. So let's go ahead and get this insurance policy. Let me go ahead and cash in that insurance and go ahead and pick this guy. Make it make sense. 100, like if I'm Kirk, like I said, there's two ways Kirk Cousins can react to this. One, they'd be like, "What the hell are y'all doing? Y'all brought me here. Y'all paid me the money. Y'all said this is my team." And then what we're the Atlanta Packers now. Like we're not gonna improve the team while I'm here. You're just gonna go ahead and hire my replacement. The Falcons are trying to say, oh yeah, he's a generational quarterback. He's He is a franchise quarterback. We believe in him. Clean bill of health, et cetera, et cetera. He's 24. By the time it's all said and done, you're either going to have him on the bench until he's 27,
Old.
or you're going to bench the guy that you're paying $45 million a year for. One of the two things is going to happen. Neither one of them makes sense. Somebody makes sense of it to me. I got nothing.
Scotty D, what say you?
Well, as far as that situation goes, obviously Atlanta didn't think they had a crack at him, but were really high on him. And when he showed up, they're like, "You want to do it? Let's do it." So I kind of disagree on your Cousins take, because the guy already has a mountain of money. So at this point, he's playing more because he wants to try to win, try to make as much money as he can, which he has. He's not gonna go to practice and half-ass it or not be motivated just because he's already got the contract. It's Kirk Cousins. He wants to. He has a reputation of making a ton of money but not winning, and he wants to try to win at this point. If you're him, you're probably not happy that this is the pick they made. Maybe not so much about your job security, but because you want improvement on the team that you just went to. Maybe he feels like, oh, that we could have used a big defensive tackle or another guy to protect my blind spot, or another running, whatever the case may be. That would be, I think, the letdown more for Kirk Cousins. That's the only sense I can make of it as far as why the Falcons did it. They just weren't expected to be in that position, and they weren't willing to move up. But on the other side of it, if you're Penix, that has to be a frustrating pick, getting that call on draft day that you're going to the team that just locked up a quarterback, where all these other guys that are probably not as good as you, JJ McCarthy and Drake May, these guys are going to be starters most likely on opening day, or more likely within the first month. And barring an injury, you're probably not going to see the field much during this opening season, your first season. So I was puzzled by the pick. I think Atlanta must have evaluated him as the top 2-3 quarterbacks on the board. Just never dreamt he was going to be there in that spot. And they said, "Hey, we didn't expect it, but let's do it." I can't imagine that was a draft night strategy going in. I'd love to know who they had on their board. They had to have somebody else in mind. They thought, this is going to be our guy. And then when Penix came in, they was like, man, maybe this is Patrick Mahomes. And if he is, we sure don't want to be accused of missing out on that one.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Falcons, I think the strategy might have been like, hey, if he's there, get him. if he falls to us, get him. You just signed Kirk Cousins. Yeah, but if Penix is there, get him. Just like B Live said, the guy doesn't see the field to become a full-time starter till till he's 27.
Yeah. He right now he's 23 years old. He turns 24 on May 8th. And so, but yeah, he'll be at 24. And like the way it just looks is that at the end of the day, if Cousins is going to play the entirety of his contract, which is 4 years, $180 million, which if you're paying somebody $45 million a year, you want him on the field. So then you silly Atlanta fans talk about, what if he gets hurt? Then you shouldn't have paid him the $180 million if you were afraid of that.
They were desperate in the offseason for a quarterback. And now they're one of the rare teams in the NFL that might have too many quarterbacks. Teams are scrambling to find quarterbacks. One of these guys, and it would be more likely to be Cousins, might be a trade piece in a year or two. If Cousins goes out and struggles this year, it'll be an enormous cap hit, but they may end up having to move him to another team. And I'm sure they'll take the cap hit while Penix is on his rookie deal, and it won't be as difficult on them to eat that. So that's a way to look at it too. If the Falcons, going into November, if they're 3 games under 500, they're floundering and they're not going to make the playoffs, maybe then you take a look at Penix. you keep Cousins on the sideline, don't let him get hurt, and then you trade him in February next year and recoup a couple picks. I don't know. You know how unpredictable these things are in the NFL, so you never know.
They took a page out of the playbook of the Denver Broncos, because the Denver Broncos got an $86 million cap hit this year because they said Russell Wilson ain't doing it for us. All right, Atlanta's like, you know what? Hold my beer. We're gonna try the same thing that the Denver Broncos did. It didn't work. Okay, come on. None of this makes sense. I hear you on trade pieces, but who's trading for 36, 37, 38, 39, 40-year-old quarterback? Because that's what you're looking at. And it's
but like I said, you never know. What if the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl and Mahomes tears his ACL in that game and he's not going to be in the next season? Then you have a veteran to plug in. Crazy scenario, but you never know. Yeah, if something like that comes up where you have a team that is ready to win and their top quarterback goes down, something like that. You just never know.
I appreciate the way you pulled that out of your ass. You sound like a Falcons fan right now.
No, boy.
I get what you're saying. But you understand how crazy that sounds. And Raheem Morris is getting paid a substantial amount of money to run an NFL franchise. That can't have possibly been in his mind. Okay. Hey, prove me wrong. I don't even know how you could prove me wrong. You're stuck with two scenarios. Either Penix is sitting on the bench for 3 years, just like Jordan Love, or Cousins, they cut him, trade him, take a cap hit, something like that. Either way, I'm still going to be right. This is not going to work. It just ain't. One of these investments is not going to pan out. They can't. They can't possibly intermingle. Those two investments cannot. That's just the nature of business.
You know, it just hit me. I was like, why does this seem all too familiar? You do remember back, was it around 2012, 2011, when the Washington football team drafted RG3, and then later on in the same draft, they drafted Kirk Cousins.
And he seems to find himself in crowded quarterback rooms, doesn't he?
I swear he does. And I'm like, is this what you do, Kirk? Is this what you do? I won't say it was per se him. It's some, his agent, who's got to be the world's greatest agent. Move over Drew Rosenhaus and all y'all boys. Y'all not doing what you're doing for doggone Kirk Cousins. But when it happened, that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, let's see how this pans out. Now, could it be the shoe be on the other foot this time, where Kirk Cousins, he fizzles out, and then Michael Penix comes in and take the Falcons to, I'm not going to say glory, because from a divisional standpoint,
no. Hell no.
And I ain't going to lie to you. And look, and when they picked Michael Penix Jr. the other night, I was like this. Yes, confusion, dysfunction in the A. I love it. I love it.
Somebody, and because I know we got way more things to talk about. Somebody mentioned it while watching one of those sports pundits or whatever. Somebody said it made all the sense in the world. All the players, every single player in the NFL when they get drafted, it's not the rookie contracts that they are so excited about, that they should be excited about, because those are cheap. It's the second contract. By the time Penix Jr. is up for his second contract, like Scotty D said, he's not seen the field. He's probably Penix is up. He's got to be thinking at his age is like, yeah, that didn't work out the way I thought it was going to be. Then Kirk Cousins' age is like, well, I'm already paid, but what the heck are they thinking? All right.
I say he's the starting quarterback going into the 2025 NFL season. That's my guess. Wow. Now, here you talk about the rookies. Here's one who's happy. Couldn't have found a better fit. Xavier Worthy, the receiver from Texas.
Jeez.
4.2140, the fastest recorded time at the combine, going back to 2003 when they started keeping that. And who does he go to? The Chiefs. He gets to play with Patrick Mahomes, who's got a closet full of rings and trophies. and he's fast, and they like speed. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they love the speed player. Andy Reid has always been a player who favors the speed guy, and this was the perfect fit for them. Man, how happy is this kid?
I'll be extremely happy. I'll be extremely happy because you also have to think about the whole Rashee Rice situation, and you don't know how that's going to pan out. So as far as like finding and filling a potential void or a need, because you know something's going to happen down the road with the NFL disciplinary policy, let's go ahead and grab him.
And they tried to go up even higher to get him, and were able to. They moved up to get him, and they were willing to go higher, and ended up when he was there, they were able to pull the trigger on that deal. Who they trade with? Buffalo? Was that the Buffalo?
Yeah, it was Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo. What are you doing? What is you doing, baby?
Well, I like what Buffalo did because they just kept sliding back, and at that point, there was a lot of receivers that they must have been okay with, and then they got their man at they were the first pick of the second day, correct?
Yep, and they got Keon Coleman.
Yeah, so it worked out for them. They got extra picks,
and I'm not mad at that. I did a little research because I was upset with my Panthers. I was like, why did we move up one spot for a wide receiver? We could have waited, plenty of wide receivers. But then I was educated that first round draft picks, they get a 5th year option on their rookie contract. So that 5th year option keeps some players on the cheap. And so maybe that's what they were going for, as opposed to the second rounder. They don't get that option after their 4th year, blah, 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 whatever. And so that has to be the reason why they moved up one spot. And because I think we traded away a 6th round pick or something like that, or did a swap or something like that. We got a 7th round, traded a 6th round, and did that little flippity flop. So we didn't really lose anything as far as the Panthers are concerned. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the Patriots.
Who'd you get?
Oh, the boy from
Mullins.
Oh, the internet is just that country
Xavier
boy.
Legette, is that how you say it? Legette?
Yeah, Xavier Legette from Mullins. I mean, he country as a mason jar, but that boy good. That boy's good.
Oh man, I saw that interview. Wow, was he country?
Country. I told my one the big kitty. I told him, like, why does this not come with captions? I don't understand a word he's saying. I'll tell you what, I'm glad.
And we're from the area.
They coming to pick me up. They coming to pick me up.
Yeah, you know, I told myself, you gotta come get me. You gotta come get me. I'm gonna come pick me up 9:30. I'm gonna be ready. I'm ready to roll right now. And I was like,
all right, let me go ahead and say this publicly. Carolina, please, next year, can you please just draft a Clemson player? I'm so sick. I'm so sick and tired. Half of our team is Gamecocks right now. Like between Xavier Legette, J.C. Horn, DJ Wanham, Davian Clowney. I'm like, hey! Our very first season was in Clemson. When you played at Clemson, why can't you draft a Clemson player?
Where's Hunter Renfrow? We'll just put him on the team on GP. Where's Hunter Renfrow?
I wasn't letting him on the team at all. Yeah. No, I was actually, for our pick, I was happy with that pick. I was just where we were at for the first pick of the second round or the last pick of the first round. That was who we were targeting, and I'm pretty cool. I'm cool with it because once you leave college, you got a degree. It don't halfway really matter, except for some big things because Gamecocks can't get a quarterback drafted into the 5th round anyway. Oh, did I say that out loud? All right, we've been talking way too much about the NFL draft. What about?
No, I got to share one real quick here for you. I got to share one. Quick. Okay, because when the Cowboys were on the clock, I was ready to draft Jackson Powers Johnson, the big center from Oregon, and they moved back, and I thought, okay, good. They picked up a 3rd round. They drafted Tyler Guyton, said like lineman named Tyron. So they got that figured out. And then I thought, finally, in the 3rd round, we'll draft our running back. But no. We're not drafting running back because as of this morning, Monday morning, it is being reported that Ezekiel Elliott, pending a physical, which may happen this afternoon, is a Cowboy again. So the day is saved. We had a plan at running back all along. Everyone wanted to jump on the Cowboys for not picking a running back. That was silly. Jerry Jones leaves no stone unturned. He had Ezekiel Elliott in the chamber the whole time. So there you go. It's probably this is going to be the year the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl because, well, actually, now that they got Zeke back in, they're still trying to win the 2017 Super Bowl. It still could happen. So there you go. Running back coming to Dallas. We're good. All in. We're all in.
All in.
This
is comedy. It's comedy. This is why Dallas is America's team, because this is comedy.
Nobody better than Zeke. Nobody in that draft better than Zeke.
That's Dallas has so much stuff they got to do, and that's what. Oh boy.
Yeah, I guess they say they would go ahead and do that. All right, fellas, we got 7 minutes left. Y'all want to go ahead and jump into basketball real quick?
Let's jump into it. We could talk real quick about it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
That's funny.
Yep. Yeah, that is funny. And the NFL draft was fun too. But what's fun right now is the basketball that's being played in the NBA, the National Basketball Association. In Phoenix last night, they said Cancun on 3, and they got
swept,
and they got the broom bust out on them by a hungry Minnesota Timberwolves, and that damn Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, yeah, he really showed up and showed out last night. Takeaways from the playoffs, fellas. What we got?
Phoenix needs to regroup. That's a team that should be all in. They get KD, Bradley Beal, and they get knocked out. Swept, right? They didn't even win a game. They lost to Rudy Gobert. They got outplayed by Rudy Gobert. Well, I guess I shouldn't be so hard on him. He's a pretty good player, but I remember when he signed his big max deal, I thought it was foolish. Well, there they are. They moved into the second round. But Phoenix, wow. What was it, 2 years ago, this team was in the NBA Finals with a legit chance to win it, and now they can't win a single playoff game after and they packed up and sent Chris Paul away and DeAndre Ayton away, and they go get Bradley Beal, and now they can't win a playoff game. So back to the drawing board, Suns.
Yeah, Phoenix gave up too much. Over to you, Be Live.
I had to pull it up because I wanted to see how much it was worth. Bradley Beal in an elimination game with a whopping 9 points. You want to know how much money the Suns are paying him this year?
How much?
$46 million to score 9.
Wow. I'm reading on ESPN. They were minus 51 when Booker, Beal, and Durant were on the floor together. In 4 games, they were negative 51. Ugh. That's the worst plus minus for any trio this postseason.
That's not good. That is not good. For them to have that much talent, that amount of talent, all on the floor at the same time on one team, that's just horrible. This is bad.
And they beat those Timberwolves 3 games, 3 out of 3 during the regular season.
I try to tell you what I say at the beginning of the show. I try to tell people don't listen. Don't listen to me, man. It is. I'm watching this Minnesota Timberwolves team, and I think that's the team that's going to give Denver problems.
No,
I think there's size with Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, I think, could do some damage. Jokic is not the best defender. I mean, Anthony Davis had his way with him. They just didn't have any. They didn't have any support. I think Karl Anthony. I think what they should do is put Jokic on Rudy Gobert, because he's not that much a prolific scorer. And so, but I mean, who's guarding Karl Anthony Towns? I think if they were to meet up, I think that's going to be your Western Conference final. And I think Minnesota will give them problems.
So you're just writing the Lakers off, huh? Just writing them off like they're not even there.
Yes.
They have a lot of momentum. They have a lot of momentum going back to Denver.
It's not happening. 0 in 156 tries. It's not coming back.
They got LeBron.
Exactly. Do you see how tired and old LeBron looks at the end of
LeBron.
games?
The GOAT.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. LeBron, the
Don't
GOAT.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. First of all, it's just such a. It's. I mean, I'm not gonna.
They have Austin
not gonna
Reeves.
do it.
He's him. Remember, he's him.
Oh boy.
Kobe of the Ozarks, baby.
Which version of D'Angelo Russell you gonna get? That's the thing. I mean, that's why I'm gonna give props to LeBron. LeBron has been consistent throughout this postseason. He's gotten the points that he's supposed to get. D'Angelo Russell, 21 points, 0, 21 points, 21 points, 0, 21 points, 0.
He's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, HIDE.
God,
yeah, you got it right. The HIDE, not the HYDE. Real quick,
Anthony Davis doing his thing, but it's over for the Lakers.
Over for the Lakers. All right, fellas, real quick before we hop on to our favorite portion of the show. We got 2 minutes. The Eastern Conference. What we think about the Eastern Conference? Are the 76ers cooked? Are they done with? Yes or no?
Oh, they are done.
They're done.
Cooked.
Yeah, probably.
Fricasseed. Embiid's on one leg.
Yeah.
He is trying his damnedest to will this team, but it's
they're not deep enough. Not deep enough, and Milwaukee. I feel bad. They build around two players, and neither of them are playing. They're toast, and
they're done.
And the Celtics still. I know they had the one bad game when Miami hit every three that they shot, but they're still, to me. I'm not using that against them, but for one single game, it's still the Celtics in the East.
All right, then we got the Cavs and the Magic. They're tied at 2 apiece as well, too. And fellas, the playoffs. It looks so
playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs. We can't even win a game. Shout out to good old Jim Moore. With that being said, fellas, looking at my cell phone, because why be live? I ain't getting on watch it. You know what I'm talking about?
Come on, Apple.
Guess what time it is?
What time is it? What's happening? What's going on?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. And with that being said, hey, yo, button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming at you right after this on the Sports Bros Podcast.
In the meantime, in between time, check us out on another platform, because we got sports here, sports there, and all that whatnot. But on Wednesday, we just break it down a little bit and we talk about mental health. And we ask everyone to let's check in with the Wellness Check Wednesdays podcast.
Feel free to join us. For more information, just check out our Wellness Check Wednesday page on Facebook. Click the link. And of course, let's check in.
Check in. See you on Wednesday.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
ever so lovely Miss Button
for introducing our favorite portion of the show. You guessed it, the choices of the voices. Scotty D, for those of you that are listening and soon to be watching, Scotty D is holding up what is that?
A poop emoji.
a poop emoji in his hand. So Scotty D got some doo-doo in his hand. Make sure you wash your hands, because you contaminate people like that. That's nasty, Scotty D. What's wrong with you? You know how we do it here. We ask y'all the question, give us the answers, and we talk about it right here on the Sports Bros Podcast on the choices of the voices. And Scotty D, with that being said, what's on tap for this week's choices of the voices?
All right, so we asked, with the NBA postseason underway, who some of your favorite postseason role players are. We all know about the Jordans and the Pippins, and we think about the Kobes and the Shaqs, but who are some of the role players that stand out for you from postseason history, or maybe a performance they may have had that sticks in your mind? And what do the people tell us, Eddie Cool?
All right, we got the one, the only, the man himself, Trey Dizzle. He says Derek Fisher is probably the best role player, but not my favorite. My favorite is when Dak Prescott retires as a Tennessee Titan. Hilarious. And then Scotty D said, "I'm surprised you know." And then Scott Donnelly said, "I'm surprised you know who Derek Fisher is."
Yeah, I was blown away that he could name somebody outside of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Like Terry Cummings. Who's that? Never mind. Don't even worry about it. All right. All right. We got Will Georgia. He said Danny Green, Tar Heel multiple times, and once almost winning the finals MVP. Seems like Danny Green was always at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
His shot was nasty with it.
Yeah, he was. A lot of people don't talk about him, man, but you know, Danny Green was one of them.
Sure didn't go down in the bubble.
Uh-oh.
Didn't go down in the bubble.
Here it is. I knew it was coming.
Couldn't get him out of LA quick enough. Next.
What does a barber say?
Next.
All right. Hall of Famer Uncle Max, he says Aaron Gordon plays great defense. Kid is good. Cannot deny that. The best name in the game, Georgia Comfort says, I gotta give it up for AC Green. He was a Swiss Army knife on a stacked team that did all the little things championship teams need done. What he did wasn't sexy, but it counted. Yeah, man, AC Green, man. I need you to play some defense. Sure, no problem. You go out there and do it.
I was a big AC Green fan. He had a nice little jumper too. He was tough.
Yeah, they used to give him hell for being the age he was and still being a virgin, but that's neither here nor there.
That always comes up. Poor guy can't have a conversation about it.
I mean, you know, man, I'm not mad at him, man. I mean, AC probably had, you know, he had some good beliefs and probably just had one singular focus. The women are nice, but these championship rings, they feel a little bit better. So I ain't mad at you, man. Yep. Corey Logren, he said, Big Shot Bob, Robert Horry. All right. 7-time NBA champion who bears the same namesake as the county where B Live and I were both born in, Horry County. Now, Horry is Horry. So thank you to Robert Horry for putting his name on the map so we can pronounce the county right as well, too. Big shot.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, man.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yep. So many big shots. And what he did for the Lakers and the Spurs, man, is one of those things where you can't take none of that away from him. So many clutch moments. So that is a really good answer.
Yep. He was content not scoring too.
Right.
Some of those big shots he took just because the ball found him in a crucial moment, but throughout a game, sometimes he would score only a couple of points and they would just be the game winners.
He just knew when to turn it on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Well, he just was cold blooded. He wasn't afraid of the big moment. Didn't make him nervous to take that big shot. Big shot, Rob.
Yep. All right, we got Brad Thomas. He says Eddie Rosario.
Penalty box immediately. Like just wrong sport. I don't know what he was trying to get across, but just no, it's this immediate penalty box. Like Scotty D, can you opine on that? Why?
That's
well, I commented on it. I said his pull-up jumper from right field is amazing.
Yeah.
He said nasty crossover on the base spot. Then he put in quotes favorite postseason role player. So maybe I didn't write NBA, but I had pictures of the NBA and was talking about it as an NBA article. But nonetheless, Eddie Rosario. Yeah.
I mean, somehow you got to put two and two together. I'm just saying, hey, these guys have basketballs, and so let me lean into the theme.
You're Scotty, your exact words. With the NBA postseason underway.
Stop right there. You guys stop. Stop. You guys say nothing.
You guys not name another penalty box. Like don't do that.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what we were asking for. You went Eddie Rosario out of all people. Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna have to bring the penalty box graphic back up and.
Immediately.
It's a lot of room in there. Robert Kraft, what's his name? Platinum Plus. Who else? We got a bunch of people in there.
I gotta find that graphic. It's been a minute. But yes, you got us pulling out the graphic for that one.
Yeah.
Next.
Yep. What does a barber in B Live say, or what do I say when when it's time to get the food? Next, mashed taters. All right. Mike Davis says Larry Johnson, the 4-point play. End of conversation. Hashtag New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah, that was an incredible play. I don't know if Larry Johnson he was more of a foundational player than a role player, but
Yeah.
he had a Grandmama commercial. Robert Horry didn't get those.
Had a shoe deal too.
He was on Family Matters playing basketball with Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, that was a pretty cool thing when he hit that 4-point play.
Well,
I don't remember who that was against. Who was that against? You guys remember?
It was in the playoffs. Knicks.
It was in the Garden. I'm pretty sure that it was a home game for the Knicks, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm just drawing a damn blank.
I'm drawing a blank because I don't remember Larry Johnson playing for anybody but the Hornets.
He played during the
I think that was a Knicks. He was with the Knicks.
Yeah, during the
they traded him for Anthony Mason.
Yeah,
okay, I remember now.
Yeah, he got traded for Anthony Mason, and then was it the lockout shortened season?
That was the year they went with San Antonio to the finals.
Yeah, when they had Sprewell and all them. Yeah, that's when that was. I remember him just going.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember him doing that at all too. And Kevin Wade, don't call me Dwayne, says big shot Rob. So we got 2 for Robert Horry. Shout out to Trey Dizzle, William Georgia, Uncle Max, JoJo Comfort, Corey Logren, Brad Thomas, Eddie Rosario, Mike Davis, and giveaway for their participation in this week's choices of the voices. Y'all didn't know, but Eddie Rosario is a 2-sport athlete. Scotty D, who you got?
Well, I do want to mention like an honorable mention. I remember I liked Ron Harper's game when he played for the Bulls. He was
okay.
Because if you remember, before he went to the Bulls, he was kind of the man with the Clippers, and he tore up his knee, and then he went and kind of resurrected his career, but was willing to play a role. He was like he was a solid role player, played very good defense. But as a Laker fan, I got to pick a Laker, right? Pretty much, I got to. And who better than Derek Fisher? I like Trey's pick. I can remember the 2008, I believe, 2000, whatever year the Lakers played the Celtics and ended up winning in 7. And there was I think it was game 3 on the road. The Lakers had lost a home game and had to go to Boston. Fisher had a huge game for the Lakers that ended up being pivotal because they were able to get home court advantage back. But then one moment that really sticks out, I don't know if you guys remember this game. It was I don't think it was in the conference finals, but it was the Lakers against the Spurs, and Tim Duncan hits a big fadeaway jump shot just beyond the free throw line with 0.4 seconds left, and the Lakers took the inbound at half court, did the advance, and Fisher just threw the ball up in a win and then just went sprinting off the court.
I remember that. Took off. Took off.
Yeah, just ran right back into the locker room before they had a chance to look at it. It was awesome, man. So Derek Fisher, he was a class act, and he was like Kobe's boy for those runs, because he left the Lakers after the three-peat and then came back and won the championship with the Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum, that Kobe's second iteration, if you will, team. So Derek Fisher's probably my favorite role player. Be live.
Oh, and that could never be a wrong answer when it comes to. I mean, Derek Fisher was a dude. You don't leave him open. Just saying, just don't do it. He will shoot your lights out. I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit. I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back to my childhood just a little bit. You know, they dust off the big set TV that's in the parents' living room.
With the new TV on top of it. Go ahead.
With the wrench that turns the channels.
Yeah.
But growing up, 2 of my favorite players, one being B.J. Armstrong.
Oh yeah.
B.J. Armstrong was one of those dudes that, like, he was one of the people I modeled my game after. Like, I didn't do much on the court, but when spot up 3-pointer, boom, shoot your lights out. That was B.J. He definitely did the thing. And he another player, I don't know if you call him a role player, because I think, but then again, when it comes to them bad boys, Detroit basketball, the bad boys, I still think that Joe Dumars doesn't get the love that he should get on the team with Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, and hating ass Isaiah Thomas. God. And some point in time, you got to let it go, bro. We grown, man. I mean, you still
Mike,
talk about.
Mike, you can kiss my ass. How am I gonna take you seriously talking like that, man? Really?
Lee. But nah, Joe Dumars will get another guy. You bet not leave him open. I don't know if you consider him a role player or like really like one of the focal points, but I
he went to the Hall. He's a Hall of Famer. He got elected to the Hall of Fame. So, but he did feel like a role player on that team because Lambeer was the big name, Isaiah was the big name. So I'd say he's like a borderline one. I wouldn't put you in the penalty box for that answer.
I appreciate that, sir.
It's a better answer than Eddie Rosario. We'll say that.
Jesus Christ, I don't know what the hell that came from.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. But yes, BJ Armstrong definitely was one of the people I modeled my basketball playing days after. Especially as a kid, I was a little short, little something. But hey, don't leave me open. I'm trying to tell you.
You were deadly with it.
Deadly with it. Eddie Cool, what say you?
He said, I'm deadly like dead left. Watch this and go left. Boom. All right, so here we go. Scotty, I alluded to it last week. The kiss of death, Mario Elie. It was 1995. It was the playoffs.
Ooh.
Yes, it was the Rockets versus the Sun. The game was tied at 110 in the fourth quarter with about 20 seconds left. They inbounded the ball. I think Danny Ainge and Kevin Johnson would go double team Vernon Maxwell. Then Maxwell was able to fire a cross-court pass to Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler, being the pro that he is, saw a wide-open Mario Elie in the corner. Hurls it over there, wide open, and by the time Danny Shays could go up and defend it, it already left, swished the bottom of the net, and Mario Elie says, "Mwah." And they showed a video of Joe Klein, former Phoenix Suns, sitting there looking like this. Sad and blue. Yeah, so for me, man, it is the Mario Elie kiss of death. That whole Rockets team was stacked, man. You had Carl Herrera, Vernon Maxwell, Clyde Drexler,
Hakeem,
yeah,
the Dream,
yeah, Hakeem Olajuwon, Robert Horry, like that. Like I've seen a lot of teams.
Sam Cassell. Did you mention Sam Cassell?
Yeah, Sam Cassell. Sam I am. Yeah, he was on there, man. And so Rudy Tomjanovich, who always told us, never underestimate the heart of a champion. Yeah, you're right about that. Didn't he punch somebody back in the day or get punched?
Tomjanovich?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a guy named Kermit Washington, the NBA player that I think it might have been who was it, like he busted his septum up and all that stuff. He had had like facial reconstruction surgery and all that stuff. He was in bad shape.
He bloodied him, and I was like, "Good God!" But
I don't quote me on that, but I thought the guy's name might have been Kermit Washington. I have to go look that up, but that's just off the top of my head. But yeah, he did get busted up. But you know, when you think back to that era, I always really I feel bad that Jordan stepped away from the game and then had the second three-peat team of the Bulls come in, because that 2 years right there, that had nothing to do with the Bulls because it was all West. I would have loved to have seen one of those two Bulls versions go against that Rockets team just to see how that was when the Rockets hit their peak while Jordan was away.
Yeah,
that would have been a really cool to see one of those teams go against that team. I mean, kind of like how the Jazz peaked and we saw them 2 years in a row against the Bulls, but that Rockets team, man, that would have been a really good matchup.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of those matchups and everything, I'm surprised we didn't hear John Paxson or Steve Kerr, or even throwing a Dan Marley in there. Yep. Dan Marley, I think, was more of a key player on the team, but Paxson and Kerr were definitely role players without a doubt, and that hit big shots to propel the Bulls to six of them rings.
And how about
the 90s?
How about Andre Iguodala, who actually was the Finals MVP?
Yep.
One year, which I always thought was kind of a silly vote because we knew Steph was still the MVP of that team that year. But Iguodala was a fantastic role player. He was another guy like Harper who had been the star on his previous team and came in, accepted a role, and played it well and was rewarded with some championships.
Yep, that's when Philly had the two AIs, Allen Iverson and Andre Iguodala.
Wow, right.
Man.
Yeah, but we are showing our age now. Scotty D, what's on tap before I start crying and have a midlife crisis for next week?
Well, it's over here. This weekend is graduation weekend for me from Waynesburg, from my sports announcing program. So I wanted to do like kind of a sports announcing question for the week. What current athlete in any sport could you foresee going on to be an announcer in the future, whether it's in-game studio host or a color guy sitting next to Joe Buck or whatever in any sport? But what try to picture an athlete you see now that's currently active, currently playing, that would move on and be a great announcer in the future. And that'll give us something to talk about next week, Eddie Cool.
All right. And with that being said, joining us right now is the friend to the show, the one, the only Greg Olson. Greg Olson, what do you think about Scotty D graduating from broadcast school next week?
Yeah, I just wanted to give him a congratulations because this is not an easy job. Everyone thinks that it's really easy to get in there and just talk about sports, but it's not, because just when you think you have a handle on it, a pretty boy quarterback from the past will come in and take your job right away from you.
Now, before we get out of here, Greg, have you and Tom Brady exchanged any pleasantries since then, or you're not talking to him, or what's the deal on that situation?
I'm a little bit mad at him because he tried to grab my butt at an all-star function, so I'm kind of trying to stay away from him.
Coming up next. Thank you, Greg. Coming up next, Eli grabbed the pepper. Pepper. We'll be right back. You know what you listen to or watch and see a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Well, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of sort of. Not really here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. Shout out to Greg Olson for joining us. You're always welcome here on the Sports Bros podcast. The fictional version and the real version as well too. With that being said, I'll go first. Be Live, as a Braves fan who just won the series against the Cleveland Guardians, you're gonna love this one even more. On this day in history, back in 1990, as Mets pitcher David Cone argues a call at first base, 2 Braves score. Kids, that's where I got to pay attention. Or what it was a routine ground ball. Cone did feel the ball, and the way his foot was on the bag, I think he touched it. There might have been some, he might have scripted touched it, but they called the runner safe. And while David Cone was yow-yowing and jow-jawing, 1 Brave came in, 2 Braves come in. Kids, pay attention. All right, over to you, Scotty D.
All right, so I believe before the baseball season started, I think we all picked the Orioles to win that division, the AL East.
We did.
And currently they are 1 game behind the Yankees in the division. And those 2 teams are set to meet for 4 games this week in Baltimore. I know it's not even May yet, but I think this is kind of there's going to be a pretty good bit of buzz around Camden Yards for this week, for this as an early season top of the lead implications here. The Yankees, I didn't trust their pitching. I like their hitting. Aaron Judge has been getting booed. He just got his average back up over 200. Soto's been helping carry the team, but the Yankees actually have been getting good pitching without Garrett Cole. Last year, when the Orioles had their kind of surprise surge, the Yankees were kind of they were mediocre. They didn't really make they didn't make the postseason. So this year, there's going to be a little bit of extra shine on this rivalry kind of rebuild. So I'm looking forward to Yankees and Orioles this week. Tune into that one if you can peel your eyes away from the NBA playoffs. Be Live, go.
All right, my first pepper point is a monumental change when it comes to the Summer Olympics. We've all known that the Summer Olympics even though like these are athletes, professionals in their own right, et cetera, but it's always been an amateur competition where these athletes don't get paid until now.
Oh, here we go.
World Athletics has now stated that they have set $2.4 million aside, and for track and field, All of the gold medal winners in all of the track and field events will receive prize money in a tune of $50,000. And if you happen to be on a relay team, you'll split that $50,000 between the four of you. So winning a gold medal at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris will net you $50,000, and they plan to expand that initiative in 2028 in Los Angeles, where gold, silver, and bronze medal winners will receive cash, a prize. Hell, I'm all for it. Eddie Cool, the ball.
All right, Scotty D. So with me and you being in media school and Be Live, you being very, very close to the product as well, too, I want to tell y'all something funny. So TNT playoff broadcast snubbed by Thunder in the post-game interview move. This was hilarious. All right. So it kind of sucks for Allie LaForce because she's a great girl. She's a real great professional at what she does. So it goes a little something like this, according to the article from the U.S. Daily Express U.S., written by Jared Casillo. The Oklahoma City Thunder celebrate their 106-85 Game 3 win over the New Orleans Pelicans in an interesting way, to say the least. With the game being broadcast nationally on TNT, a player from the winning team, in this case the Thunder, was supposed to stay a few moments to chat with TNT's sideline reporter, whomever it might be. Well, in Game 3, the sideline reporter was Allie LaForce. And as she was getting ready to interview Thunder star forward Jalen Williams, the 23-year-old said walked away from LaForce and approached Nick Gallo, the Oklahoma City's local reporter. As Williams and his teammates walked over to Gallo, LaForce was told to wait, and then she replied, well, why do I have to wait? Williams and the rest of the Thunder players surrounded Gallo for the interview, which is what the team has been doing the entire season, as LaForce was left wondering what to do with the Thunder players focused on Gallo. LaForce is heard saying, I followed the group with these knuckleheads, as a smile crept on her face. You know, if you ever have a chance to go look, just go look up Oklahoma City Thunder team interview. They interview one player, but the team is right there. I'm telling you, that's a hard team to play against when everybody is supporting everybody. Allie LaForce, I'm sorry, but as they said, nationally, the Thunder wouldn't really get no love, but, you know, where you get love sometimes, you get it locally. So I guess you got to go where you love. Over to you, Scotty D.
The interviewing can be a tough thing to do.
Yes.
Actually, did you see the girl that interviewed the NFL player? I think it was Brian Johnson, Jacksonville, his mom, and she said, how far has this family come? And she said, we came from Baton Rouge.
I did catch that.
I hollered on the floor.
Ask a silly question, you get a silly
answer. Yep.
All right, so I mentioned to you guys a month or so ago about Major League Baseball having these new uniforms and how the bottoms were see-through and the numbers and the names were all kind of janky, and the players just hated them. Well, now Major League Baseball is planning to address its fiasco with the uniforms. They sent out a memo on Sunday night that I'll just read you a quick excerpt of it. It says they're going to return to the lettering, big lettering, the new Nike jerseys. They have mismatched gray tops and bottoms, and a propensity to collect sweat, and they're going to have all this fixed. But here's what stood out to me in the article from ESPN. It says the changes, which will happen at the latest by the beginning of the 2025 season, will also include, well, what? That means I got to wear these things? You can't fix them quicker than that? You're Nike. You made like $1 billion already, and it's 11 o'clock today. You can't do anything. You can't target the All-Star break, or maybe next week to get new uniforms out there. These guys are going to be wearing their see-through panties all the way through the World Series of 2024. Come on, man. Give me a break. Do better, Nike. Do better. Be Live. Over to you.
7,991 million combinations for Oregon University, but you can't.
Yeah.
Back. Oh my goodness. My second pepper point. I sort of feel bad for my dude. I feel bad. Mentioned him earlier, but this is on the pepper point side of things. Joel Embiid. I mentioned earlier that he's been playing on one leg, trying to will this team to a victory. They're down 3-1 to the Knickerbockers right now. But there's a problem. Not only is he trying to carry this team on his back, he can't even get support from the fans. Because he's been saying there's been an overwhelming amount of Knicks fans that have traveled to Philadelphia, and you can hear the cheers and the boos coming from Knicks fans more than you can hear from the 76ers fans. He's like, what more do I have to do? I can't even get the fans to show up and cheer for our team. Philly, do better. Well, you're going to do better in a second because you're not going to have much more basketball to watch because it's over for you. Jalen Brunson and them Knicks, they just doing a thing. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Third and final pepper point. I'm going to take a turn. I was going to do birthdays, but right now I want to acknowledge the accomplishments of the Money Man, Scotty D, and the Almighty B Live. Fellas, we started this podcast back in 2019. I had no idea where the hell it was going to go, but to see you do your thing, Scotty D, in school and about to walk the stage, and B Live to see you also do your thing at the Shared Studios, I feel like a proud papa, and I always tell everybody, I said, if we never, ever, 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 ever make a dime of this year podcast, I'm happy at the fact that we get to practice this day in and day out, and it's at the point to where you fellas have taken it to the next level and making careers out of it. As being a podcast, a studio manager, and Scotty D doing his best Vince Scully impersonation, but which is in a good way because Vince is one of the best to ever do it. So I just want to give you guys your flowers now. I mean, I ain't got no flower. I mean, I got a hammer, but I ain't got no flowers. So
why
let's
do you have a hammer?
Let's just, I don't know, because I'm Greg Valentine. Let's just use our imagination and pretend that these are flowers. And fellas, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all.
Hey, Pat McAfee, don't sue us because we got a hammer. Whatever the hell that even means. But I had to do it because you have a hammer for no reason. My bad. I'm good. All right.
Yep. Hammer, charger, all that stuff. So yeah, shout out to y'all, fellas. Over to you, Scotty D.
Oh, thank you, Eddie Cool, for those kind words, and keep doing your thing as you embark on your career, doing all of this stuff and wrapping this up for us each week here. Mm-hmm. Your talents are greatly appreciated as well. Okay, so this summer we actually finally have a date. It's going to be Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler on June 29th. I will believe that when I see it because I still am not convinced Conor McGregor wants to get into the octagon and fight again. I think he just likes making noise on I was going to say Twitter, but it's X. He likes to make noise on social media and make movies and show up at press conferences drunk and all that stuff. Conor McGregor's a hot mess. I just have a hard time being convinced that a guy who's making millions and millions, more money he ever dreamt of, is willing to go back to the grind and put a serious fight in against a serious fighter like Michael Chandler. Well, now he's branching out beyond the UFC, and he's become a part owner of the BKFC, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And I'm thinking, what in the Rock XFL is going on here? Why would you choose to invest in a fledgling league that's beneath you and continue to go on? The BKFC's got nothing to offer. It is a terrible product. Conor McGregor, go back to your proper tequila and move on. Be Live, take us home.
He said, what in the Rock XFL is going on? Go ahead, Be Live.
And I'm going to go ahead and say this because I know Scotty D doesn't drink anymore. I do. The proper 12 whiskey. All right, cool. It's whiskey.
What did I say? Tequila?
Yeah, you said proper. You said proper tequila.
Irish whiskey. Yeah, somebody who invested in tequila? Who's got the tequila investment?
That's The Rock.
The Rock.
Okay. Oh, there you go. He was on. Yeah. No, I did know that the proper number 12 was Irish whiskey from The Irishman. It makes perfect sense. The Rock has a tequila. Go ahead, B Live. Go ahead.
And The Rock's tequila is Terramana. It's delicious. All right, cool. If you want to sponsor, brother, I'm just telling you.
Real quick.
It's really good. My third and final pepper point, I am going to switch it up just a little bit. You know, I usually come with the most ridiculous things that's going on in the world of sports, but this is a story that has to be told. And because I am his biggest fan without question. And it's my man, my little man, he ain't even little anymore, but William Bryce Brady, son of Heath and Alicia Brady. I have spoken on this show before about his health and growing up and everything, all the things he's overcome. But he let us know on a post that William Bryce participated in the Horry County Special Olympics this past week, and he walked away with 1 gold medal, 2 silver medals, and 1 bronze medal at the Special Olympics. I am so incredibly happy for him and seeing everything that he's doing and everything he's overcome. He is very, very invested in sports. You can see him as he's on one of the managers of the baseball team. He's there. He participates in so much, and I just this is a heartfelt. I'm so proud of him. So happy to see him thriving and doing with all the limitations that he has. Keep doing you, William Bryce. And I love you, kid. I love the family. Such an amazing family, and I greatly appreciate, and seeing this story brings a smile to my face, an extra beat to my heart, and all the other dumb stuff. All right, cool. I'm being all emotional up in here. I can't.
That's a good story, though. That's awesome.
But no, I very much so. I love the family. Love seeing what he's doing and everything like that. And so,
keep on keeping on, young man. Keep pounding. Keep on keeping on. I like it.
That's it.
And Be Live, I do believe that you're his biggest fan, because I think you were a lot of people's biggest.
That's it. That's not even necessary.
Why boy, jam.
And in closing, because there he goes fat shaming me again on the show, and I told him about that. The way you going? Wait, see, his whole head took up the screen. Big head. Oh my! I'll cuss.
And then
closing.
Do something nice for yourself. And if you can do something nice for someone else, they'll greatly appreciate it now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. Big shout to William Bryce and everybody else. Has been another wonderful, enchanting, exciting, and fun episode of Your Favorite Sports Podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. Be Live, take us home.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, thank you.
Because he has a big heart. He's a big heart for people. That makes him a big fan.
Yeah, nice save, Scotty D. See y'all next week.
Shut up.
Hey, it's Eddie Cool here from the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you for listening. And as always, continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just click the link in the description box and keep up with the Sports Bros Podcast. And once again, thanks for listening.